Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the eISL powered by Coca-Cola with Hero as our associate partner, Nordwind Gaming as our esports partner, and PlayStation as our platform partner. Now, my name is Nikhil C. Bansali, and joining me, of course, is Azim. So, how are you doing, Azim, today?
Good. I had a long night playing FIFA 22 last night, and it was one of those very frustrating games where actually just frustrating hours where every game I had an expected goals of 5 or 6, and I
Oh
was
no!
losing games 3-1 to people who have an expected goal of 0.4.
Oh no!
So it was just happy to be watching other people get their blood pressure up today.
Yeah, exactly right. We're gonna watch these players instead get all the pressure and just enjoy the spectating affair, all the
Yeah.
skills and all of that. But hey, let's have a look at the format itself and talk about how this entire 4-month structure is gonna go through.
Yeah, as we all know, in case there's new people tuning in, we have a 4-month-long tournament. I think it's the first time this has ever happened in the history of esports in India, with FIFA particularly. 11 teams, 2 players per team, 110 matches, and each match is split into 3 games, 2 1v1s and 1 co-op as the third game. 19 to 21st March, we have, of course, the finals with 4 teams making it, and there'll be a double elimination. And then a double cross on 21st March as the 2 winners suddenly become enemies to have a 1v1 battle and decide who's going to represent India in the FIFA Global Series 2022.
Yeah, you hold hands all the way through and till the end, and then you're ready to just drop the hands and pick up the knives, ready to stab each other. For that, though, we have a bit of time. For now, we're going to be
Yeah.
focused on the teamwork part and how they really manage to help each other because for the teams we've been seeing, that's been a key factor in their progression, how one player helps the other. But let's take a look at what is motivating them, at least materialistically, with respect to the prize pool. And it's a big number, Azim, 75 lakh.
Yeah, 78 lakhs in
Oh, yeah.
fact. Are you taking 3 lakhs commission? See what's going on. But no, it is a total prize pool of 78 lakhs. First place gets 15 lakhs, second place 7.5, 5 lakhs for third place, 2.5 lakhs for fourth place, and of course the MVP, the best player of the tournament, a contender of which we may be seeing in our first match today, gets a nice sum of 4 lakh rupees.
Yeah, I was hoping I would get a caster MVP, maybe the three
Yeah,
would go.
that's where your 3 lakh is gone.
Yeah.
See, that's where it's gone. It's
Uh,
already in your account.
but no, it's all right. The players are much more deserving, and you can see why exactly we have even for the MVP of the tournament, right? Like there are certain players who are unable to may not necessarily produce the team effort or maybe the points, but they're still intensely skilled on their own.
Yeah, and obviously it's not just your own skill that matters, because the co-op games we have seen players who are individually very good, but co-op not so good. But we're going to see a combination of guys who are excellent at all forms in our first game today.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that first game, as you mentioned, Chennai FC versus Jamshedpur, that player I think you were talking about, I'm going to take a guess and say you were talking about Siraj, right? He's been absolutely unstoppable.
Yeah, so I mean Saranj, and in fact, honestly, Naveen in the last 2 games has been in scintillating form.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward, particularly to Naveen versus Akash, because both of these guys are in absolutely prime form coming into this. Saranj himself has said he's been shocked by how well Naveen has been doing. Saranj, I think, has still slowly just been getting into it. Arvind as well had a slightly slow start to the tournament, but that is, of course, match 1, and then later on in the evening we have Kerala Blasters, who've had a couple of games themselves, 2 or 3 games, and then we have Mumbai City FC, who'll be playing their second game. So yeah, a pretty stacked lineup for today.
Yeah, I think it's the battle of the top of the table and then the battle for near the bottom of the table to try and get a resurrecting start back up. And it's going to be really interesting because it shows us very different motivations. Of course, Chennai and FC trying to maintain their unbeaten run, whereas Jamshedpur, they want to take a shot at the king of the hill.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, more than us talking about it, let's find out what the players themselves have been having to say about this tournament so far.
Hi, I'm Naveen. I'm 23 years old. I'm from Chennai.
I'm Saranj. I'm 20 years old. I'm from Pune.
And I'll be representing Chennai in FC.
I've been playing competitive FIFA for 4 years now.
The passion for the game started since 2010.
Having played multiple tournaments internationally, I'm really happy that we have gotten this opportunity to play in the ISL.
I used to play a lot of FIFA with my brother, so since then this is a big opportunity for me to represent Chennai FC in such a big stage.
I'm really honored to be representing them.
Definitely I'm going to win this tournament for sure. My partner is a strong partner. We together will be a strong force to any other opponent.
I know the Chennai fans are really passionate about football and I hope they are about FIFA as well.
I want you to cheer us throughout the tournament.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm Arvind, I'm 24, I'm from Chennai.
I'm Akash, I'm 22. I'm from Chennai. I'm going to represent
Jamshedpur FC. I have been playing FIFA for a couple of years competitively.
I was always passionate about gaming and football right from my childhood. Guess what's common between them? It's FIFA.
I am good enough to stand here in front of you and I will be good enough to win it all.
Jamshedpur is all about steel and I believe players are as determined as steel.
Jamshedpur FC is all about the fans. They are all around the world. They will be supporting us till the end. I'm honored to represent Jamshedpur FC in this tournament and we will be winning it all for you guys.
I believe we got what it takes to win the tournament and we are here to do so.
What I especially enjoy when we hear from these players is hearing the sheer amount of passion they have for this game in their voice, right? It's really inspiring.
Yeah, and it's as I've said repeatedly through this tournament, it's so nice for them to obviously have this passion and be in a position in the world we're in right now where esports is being
Yeah.
taken seriously with platforms like the eISL for them to actually showcase what they've got and also get rewarded for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the platforms being there, of course, a reason for them being able to come out and shows their skills. And I'm excited to see those skills in action, especially as you mentioned for Chennai NFC. For Naveen, it's been an upward trend so far. Was a rocky start, but has only gotten exponentially better. But let's have a look at the leaderboard itself to take a look at where Jamshedpur stands with respect to Chennai. So Jamshedpur, Azim, on 2 wins and a loss, but they have a chance to at least take over Bengaluru, if not put down Chennai in itself.
Yeah, I mean, and of course, Jamshedpur, I believe the loss was against FC Goa, who again clutched it in that last game. In the game between FC Goa and Jamshedpur as well, we saw, I believe it was Akash in tremendous form. And they've been rock solid since that initial setback. Mumbai City FC, of course, have just played the one game, and they'll be looking to make a comeback against Kerala Blasters, who also have just got 3 points. But Chennai and FC, they're the team to beat right now. They're in incredible form, a supremely strong lineup, and yeah, I mean, if you're going to be in with a shot of winning this eISL and being on the top side of that podium, you're going to have to beat Chennai and FC somewhere along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, as you mentioned too, right, for the side of Jamshedpur, Akash was in scintillating form in that Goa match. A 6-1 victory, for example, but then the co-op was where they found a little bit of difficulty. So I'm curious to see if, like Bengaluru, what we saw yesterday, where they had immensely improved their co-op game within a matter of just a few matches, if, say, Jamshedpur can show that same level of progress.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, I'm, as I said, very, very excited about this first game because Naveen and Akash, two players in absolutely prime form. They've just looked completely invincible at the start of this season so far. Arvind as well, very, very good player. He's going to be going up against pretty much the best of the best when it comes to Saransh. I mean, that guy has won everything that there is to win in the world of FIFA esports. So, going to be a big challenge for Arvind. Saran still hasn't fully hit his stride in this tournament. I mean, he's been winning those games, maybe 2-1s here and there, but he's been shaking his head and being a little sad all throughout. And we have already kicked off. Here we go. It is Chennai FC versus Jamshedpur FC. Chennai, of course, kicking left to right in all white and Jamshedpur FC in red.
Yeah, and like you said, right, Naveen's been in such great form that usually when we look at teams, we say one is the senior player, one is the junior player. And yeah, while that like hierarchy may exist in Chennai NFC, the form itself of the players puts them really close to each other. So there is no real weaker match or easier match. And that's why you can see Naveen already in the box with Ronaldo.
There you
go.
Oh yes, and that is Chennai and FC, another brilliant start, and Naveen just carrying on that form that he's been riding on a wave of such huge confidence, and Initial setback for Akash, I don't think he's really been able to set his defense properly. You can see over there a little over-eager with that challenge, and Naveen very quick with his thumbs, very quick to get that lead, and now let's see what Jamshedpur FC can do in response.
I mean, within 5 minutes, Naveen already making that statement, and we have to remember, like between Akash and Arvind, Akash has been the player in slightly better form, so this is supposed to be the stronger match for Jamshedpur, right, Azim?
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think there's as you said, there's a stronger match, particularly when it comes to Chennai and FC, because both players are in such great form and so talented. But again, you can see Akash being very eager to win that ball back and maybe just overcommitting a little bit on defense, sort of losing his shape, is committing. And the one thing you don't want to do in this game is commit your central defenders, your fullbacks too far ahead. Because at this level, with the level of players you're up against, particularly guys like Naveen and the form he's in, you're going to pay for it. But Akash trying to just squeeze through. Not even the diminutive frame of Pele could go through that gap. And looks like another counter attack coming from Chennai and FC.
You can see Naveen much more patient. But as you mentioned, like the interceptions very, very aggressive. The press is continuously on. Like usually we see players maybe pressuring on a heavy touch or looking for a much more balanced form of a Geigen press maybe. But here, Akash really up with the constant pressure, going in, committing to those tackles every single time.
Yeah, and of course, constant press, if he's using that in the tactics, as we see here, he's walking through with Pele, getting mobbed over there. He should get the shot away and blocked just a foot away from that near post, and it's a corner for Chennai and FC. Naveen is going for the kill here, it looks like. He wants to get that 2-0 lead and completely take control of this game. Well intercepted there. And Akash I think he needs to settle into a bit of a rhythm, keep the ball for a little while, just get his passing going, get a feel for what's happening. There you go. That's a bit impatient, and it's offside.
Just trying to run along the line, testing Naveen, being like, challenge me, please. And Naveen just says, no, I'll let you run away and I'll take the ball later for myself. But another great interception here from Akash. Gets the ball back to the midfield, though, and that's going to give Naveen some time to get back.
Yeah, and Naveen, of course, I think defensively as well, he's been very well organized. But Akash, his strength has been in attack. I believe he scored 4 or more goals in both his games so far. I think even all 3. So let's see what he does have to offer. He's very good with his commentator's curse right there. At the moment you say very good, he gives the ball away. And now I think Naveen looking for that quick counter attack. We're going to see that through ball to Ronaldo. I think just went to the wrong channel. The outside channel was probably the better one to pass to, but I think sometimes the game does make that decision for you unless you're using absolutely completely manual through balls, which of course is quite difficult to control.
Yeah, I mean, we certainly would not expect that, but right now, Akash with a really good attack. Once again, though, tries to get the ball back to the midfield to set up those 1-2s, but Naveen, it gives him that extra second to really reset.
Yeah. He's in here. Surely he has to score, and he does, using that time finish. Bit of a mistake there from Naveen. I think little caught napping, got his player switching all in a mess over there, and it is Ronaldo Nazario for Jamshedpur FC as well. And 1-1 all square, and yeah, this is shaping up to be a cracking encounter.
Exactly the way we wanted. I mean, especially with teams, with both of these teams towards the top of the table, certainly expecting this. And Akash delivering. Was a little scared at first with Naveen's slightly much more like high tempo performances compared to Akash in the first 20 minutes. But now we can see it's settled with both of the players coming into their groove, and अब यही बात बनती है, can Naveen really take it to another level with the form he's shown us in the past few matches?
Yeah, I mean, it is going to be difficult. These are 2 form players. Not a lot of weaknesses in their game for both of them. I think both the goals they've conceded have come from individual errors. So it is now going to come down to sort of who can keep their nerve better, who's going to make the least mistakes in this game. And just as I mentioned, a mistake, there you go. Those are the kind of things you can't afford. I mean, giving the ball away under no pressure in midfield and just handing the impetus back. Naveen will be a little annoyed about that. But of course, he does have a very cool, calm head right next to him, telling him what he's doing wrong in Saranch. So, I mean, he's going to have all the tools that he needs to excel over here.
I do note here, like with Zidane in the midfield for Akash, he's playing Vieira at centre back with Maldini. Very interesting.
Yes.
It gives him a lot of like passing prowess from the back of the line, a really
Yeah.
good ability to build up.
Yeah, and he's working that well, almost finding the gap over there. We have seen this actually as a tactic used. We have seen, I think Saranj prefers to have Vieira in the center of defense and play Laurent Blanc in midfield. So I think looking for those players who have very high defensive stats in midfield, so that they can cut out balls at the source rather than having to cut them out the moment. I mean, when they're closer to the penalty box. And a few 1-2s over here. Akash taking his time, being patient. And again, there, just that little mistake, passing it straight to his opponent. And now this half is pretty much flown by. We're pretty much at 41 minutes right now. Just, I think, maybe one last attack. And most of the players, oh my goodness, he's just given that away. I was about to say most players favor keeping the ball to make sure that last attack of the half is theirs. And it does look like Naveen will have the last attack this time. But given the way my commentary curse is going today, I think Akash will win this back in 3, 2, 1.
No, but you
Okay.
reversed it
Oh, there you go.
by
Just
calling
a
it.
second late.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually. And he's gone for a long ball. That's an exceptional ball if he's onside. Surely he has to go for the chip. No! Just very indecisive over there. And is that...
No.
Surely not a penalty. It's half time. Saw the keeper complaining, I think maybe to his defense for leaving him so hopelessly overexposed in that instance. But yeah, for the moment it is deadlocked, 1-1, a close match. Both players have had only that one clear chance, and I think maybe the one for Jamshedpur right at the end of that half. And of course, Saransh, with the library of knowledge that he is in the world of FIFA, is going to be guiding Naveen through what he needs to do next.
I mean, yeah, rightfully so, right? As we've noticed, the key distinction between these players really being those small errors leading to those either midfield interceptions or the final third interceptions, like we saw with Eusebio for Naveen earlier. And Saranj, right, probably just pointing out the same, like, hey, as long as I think you play your game without individual errors, you should be just fine here.
Yeah, and that's, I think, what it's going to come down to. Who makes the least mistakes? We see a halftime substitution from Jamshedpur FC, I believe. I think it's Cruyff off and Ginola on. So I think he does want more angles to shoot from, because Ginola, of course, a player with a 5-star, weak foot. So maybe he's a little uncertain about taking shots from odd angles and wants to be able to just fire them away the moment he sees the smallest opportunity. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out.
Yeah, especially since it's a halftime substitution, going for the kill right here. Akash does not want to wait for Naveen to maybe get another goal and he has to fight back. He wants that win and he's looking like he might just be in the right groove to get it. But right now, just playing it slow, we've seen this standard playstyle from him before. I think what it really highlights is the fact that here, once again, those midfield interceptions become so key for both of these players. But oh my god.
Yeah. Oh, it's given away again, and Gullit just taking a little bit of a slide. You don't want to overcommit your defensive midfielder like that, because you could be overexposed. You see a player outside the box, and will he go for that pass? He does. Ruud Gullit happy to just hang back for the moment, and yeah, got little fortunate to continue to recycle possession over there. And for now, does look like Chennai and FC are in the ascendancy here, just using tricking, turning left, right. Can he find a way through that defense? Not quite.
Just about. And really nice defensive structure from Akash, but maybe the cast the curse act.
Not quite. And now will he look to break quickly? No, I think Akash is just going to reset again and do his favorite thing of just again, as we see over here, Patrick Vieira in center of defense. We've seen a lot of players use that, and for good reason as well. And now we have Ronaldo going wide. Will he go for a cross? No, he's going down the byline. Ooh, slightly overran that. Got a bit lucky there.
I think both players happy in that scenario. Akash because he was about to just concede a corner, and Naveen of course because able to much more control the pace of the attack when it is a corner itself, trying to do just that. Akash with a direct short ball to a player he called up front. That's not something we've seen very often.
Yeah, I mean we've seen a couple of players try that and the ball be intercepted immediately. I think we saw that with KT Dillon a number of times in this tournament for 80 KMB. But very patient build up. It's all going to come down to that little battle of wits. I think in one-on-one situations, you go left, I go right, I create that opening and I take a shot. Because both players, it feels like you're watching a mirror image because they're both building up in exactly the same way. Occasionally looking for a counter attack. Now it's about Pele. Can he go and find that space? Nope. And have to say that Naveen's defense has been pretty organized until now. There you go, wins it back. Finally, commentator's curse is over. And yeah, again now Chennai and FC. I think he's going to take his time again. Just keep the ball, starve your opponent of the ball for a while. That can frustrate them a little bit. I think it's very effective as a tactic when you're leading the game. And now to see not a lot of bodies being committed forward, you have to say, by Chennai and FC. Just the two players in the box right now. And flashing it across goal. And unfortunately, nobody there. As I said, not many players in the box for Chennai and FC over there. And we are seeing a little bit more adventure in that sense from Akash. There we go. That's another great ball. He's been finding that ball pretty well. Now is Ginola on the flanks. What can he do? Can he find? Oh no, he gives it away. And yeah, a lot of these mistakes happening from both players today.
Yeah, but as we get closer to that 90-minute mark, you can kind of see the tempo of the game being picked up. Both of the players feeling that urgency to get that winning goal, to get that lead. And right now, the ball with Naveen sets up Mbappe.
Yeah, he
for a
has
run.
the opening over there, and yeah, this could be it. Oh, just overhits that pass. And yeah, the few cracks now starting to appear in both defenses. I think the level of focus and determination it takes to defend in this game and just keep your opponent out. It's a lot of stress. I mean, even when I play with a couple of friends of mine, like we find it stressful when we're just tied to each other because it's so much work to defend against players who know what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you're like at that knife's edge, just tied up perfectly. But once again, an interception stops the attack and puts Akash back with the ball. And at the 81-minute mark, I imagine Akash will not want to let it go at all now.
Yeah, I mean, he probably. I mean, if he were leading, he would definitely keep the ball all throughout. But maybe he's gonna. Oh, and okay, I think now he should be focusing on just keeping that ball and making sure the last attack is his. But if he's a little more gung ho and he feels like, you know what, if the first one doesn't work out, I can recover the ball and get another one, he might just go now. But it does look like he wants that last attack.
Yeah, just playing it smart, ensuring that he is the only one who gets the opportunity at the win. Now starting to move the ball a little forward for sure. It's all about setting his players up in the right positions, I think, for him to move forward. But it also reminds us of what we've seen throughout. Like imagine around the 89-minute mark, if he ends up making a small error and the ball gets intercepted for a counter attack, that would be devastating.
Yeah, it almost happened right there. That was really threading the eye of a needle there, and he gets it through. And now, as we reach the 90th minute, we should see him getting closer into the box. And he's given it away, as you called it on the 90th minute. And now the initiative with Naveen. Surely he has to go for broke over here because there's just 1 minute of stoppage time. Will he find Pele? He has. He just needs that through ball. Doesn't go for it. Decides to go solo instead. And finally, I think Akash breathing a sigh of relief as this game ends 1-1. A very tight, very cagey affair with both defenses really on top. And I mean, a lot of small mistakes made in the midfield areas, but when it came to defending their own penalty boxes, I think both players did a fantastic job.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the reason I even thought of that was because it happens to me so many times where I'm trying to keep the ball. You almost for a second lose that, that predator prey feeling you have, or predator feeling you have rather, when you're trying to push the ball and trying to get the attack in. You calm down, you settle in, and when you actually try to get the attack going, you sort of just miss the pass. And that's what happens there. 1-1 though, so we have 2 more matches to go.
Yeah, all to play for, and we know for sure that after the first game is drawn, of course, that whatever happens, this match is going to go to the final game to decide what the outcome is. And as casters, for us, that's nice to keep it exciting. We don't want to see whitewashes, although the players would love it themselves to just get that 2-0 lead and then just chill and have fun in co-op. But as neutrals, we want to see as much nail-biting action as we can, and that was a bit of a nail-biter. Not much goal-mouth action, you have to say, a very tactical, almost chess-like battle in midfield. And not, it felt more like an IRL football match than one
Yeah.
of the the high scoring FIFA games that we've been seeing of late.
I mean, I guess that's what we expect. Also, coming towards the top part of the table, we expect players to be a lot more compact, a lot more disciplined, a lot more structured, and I think all three of those things we saw in abundance with both of these players. Are very, very smart, and as you said, almost a mirror image of each other. And I wonder if going into the next match, we see some sort of shift from either of the teams, like signaling to their counterparts, "Hey, we could do this." But of course, moments of brilliance from Ronaldo on either side is what made it 1-1 in the first place.
Yeah, and now I think Arvind is going to be feeling a little bit of pressure as we go into this one because he is going up against Saransh, and you just get that feeling because Saransh hasn't quite hit his stride so far this season that there is a spanking coming for someone, and nobody in the opposition team wants to be at the end of that. Let's hope for Arvind's sake that it's not him who has to experience it. Because the moment Saransh starts to it starts to click for him and he starts putting it together, I mean, he's impossible to contain. And finally, though, it is 1-1. Very finely poised balance for this match, and should be kicking off with round 2 very soon.
Yeah, players themselves just getting themselves prepped, and as you talked about, that pressure definitely going to be there for Arvind because after that draw, as you mentioned, the co-op so important, and we know how strong Saransh and Naveen have been together as well as a unit. So for Arvind, like, this win could be so crucial if he manages to get it against like a player of the caliber of Saransh, because it gives him that breathing room going into co-op, which they would very much be able to exploit then to play much better. But focus on this 1v1 now, Azim. I have to ask you right off the bat, like, and do you think like there's any surprising tactics we can see, like perhaps like the offside trap that we saw yesterday being used by the side of Jamshedpur FC? Because I expect Saransh is going to keep it simple.
Yeah, I mean, Saransh plays only one way, and it's a very good way, so he doesn't really need to change that. For Arvind, let's see. I mean, we haven't really seen a lot of experimentation tactically from any teams in terms of going for a wildly different setup. We haven't seen much of people going three at the back. Maybe when they're chasing the game, yes. But nobody really setting up. Everyone going for that standard 4-4-2 meta, 4-2-3-1 with the cams if you're feeling very adventurous. Because you don't want to expose any area of the pitch, and those formations are the most balanced, so to speak. The two up top does give you a little bit more freedom in terms of how you attack, opportunities for a few 1-2s, a few runs of the ball. But usually everyone's gone with the same tactics. Let's see if Arvind has a couple of tricks up his sleeve, because so far I think we've seen most of the standard stuff that people use, and a few offside traps, maybe a few we've seen a lot of striker drop back being used as well. Maybe that's something that Arvind will use, because he's going to need all the bodies he possibly can to defend from Saransh.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm excited to see how it actually ends up turning out. I think from a neutral point of view, if it's another draw, it would just tee us up perfectly for the co-op. Two back-to-back individual draws, and it really sets up for that teamwork storyline. The team that is better wins the match.
Yeah, absolutely, and I mean, I think Arvind will take encouragement from the fact that in previous days we've gone into ties like with, for instance, I think V Sharma and a couple of really big players, Lokmanya as well, where they've been looked at as the primary players and the player who's expected to win that game, but they've been pushed all the way. I think V Sharma was pushed all the way by Akshat, and Lokmanya was pushed all the way by Afnan. So I think Arvind can take encouragement from those performances, and yeah, we've kicked off. Let's see if he's going to experience the wrath of Saransh, or whether he can survive this and get the result that Jamshedpur need.
Is that Mbappe in the midfield?
I do believe so. Yes.
Wow.
But occasionally that does happen when they just
Centre back?
Oh no, not centre back. We have seen poor Afnan end up with Mbappe as a centre back before, but I don't think that's happening over here. We are seeing Saransh loves Laurent Blanc in midfield, and we do see that for him here as well. And well defended, Theo Hernandez, the standard left back. I think we've only seen Theo Hernandez lose at left back, maybe occasionally a Carlos Alberto once in a while. Oh, a little risky over there, gets away with that. And it is a corner early on for Jamshedpur FC. So let's see if Arvind can. I think that's offside, surely. No, it's not. All right. And the flag doesn't go up. And will he go for a cutback? He does.
Oh,
And
the
it's off
post!
the post. It's off the post. Desperately unlucky there for Arvind. But I think he was offside anyway. Potentially, no, the offside came after it hit the post. But yeah, warning. Alarm bells ringing for Saranch over here. And very good, very feisty start, winning the ball back again. Saranch not quite up to speed yet in this game and indeed in the tournament so far. And he's gonna look to, I think, calm things down a little bit, just keep the ball. And we do see, I believe, Mbappe. It is on not in midfield, but maybe on the right wing. And he's found the ball. I think he was fouled off the ball over there, but still, take the shot, man. There you go. It's shot straight at Van der Sar. And Chennai and FC completely under siege right now. And we see a pause cued by Saranch. He's clearly not happy about something. And now let's see. Is it going to be the sucker punch after soaking up all that pressure? Will he just manage to sweep away that Jamshedpur defense with just one simple move? Let's see what he does. And no, that's well defended, but given straight back, and that's not something you want to do against a player of Saranch's quality.
Yeah, both players with their own sieges basically on either side. It's Saranch's turn now. Arvind wasn't able to convert in his own time, but now Saranch with a corner and hold on.
Yeah,
Maybe
let's
a
have a
bit of a
look.
technical issue there.
No, I think he's just making a tactical change. I think I'm not sure what that little pop-up box is because I
Yeah.
have seen that show up a few times, but the games have continued after that as per plan. So maybe just a little glitch in the game. But Arvind, I think, off to a fantastic start. That's what Akshat will be telling him as well. Keep this up. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't get overawed by the occasion and the player you're playing against. You're in control of. I mean, you have a controller in your hand, and you have that ability that's brought you here to basically be amongst the best 22 FIFA players in India right now. So trust in your ability, and let's see if Arvind continues to do that.
Absolutely. Now
Oh,
with
knocking that
Theo.
straight out.
He just
Yeah, no, I can relate to that completely because it's a ball that was very common to play over, especially down the line in FIFA 21. And whenever you attempt that, I think sort of 7 or 8 times out of 10, that ball just goes straight out for a throw-in, and you're left looking like a complete fool. And a bit over eager there, Saranch, and I don't think Arvind was expecting that because he could have just turned and been in on goal for a one-on-one there. And now Saranch, will he look for Pele, who is offside? Nope. Now he does. And couple of players in the box. Will he go for a cross? Nope. This is where Saranch loves to use those short fakes, those ball rolls to create space for himself. And will he bulldoze through? Not quite. And got a bit lucky over there. And no harm done for Jamshedpur as they look to build from the back again. This is again just like the first game, very, very evenly poised.
Yeah, absolutely right. I think both of the players, especially with again similar playstyles like we saw in that first game, but now Saranch on the attack. Pele, it could have just.
Why did he go back? Yeah, he
Yeah.
could have just slid him in over there. I think not confident that the ball wouldn't be intercepted because defenders in this game do pull off quite frankly absurd interceptions in the middle of the park. So perhaps trying to play it a little safe over there. And yeah, Saranch driving that into nobody in particular. Keeping that high press, he doesn't want to give Arvind a lot of time on the ball, even from his own corner. But now deciding to just fall back into his regular shape. We do see that it is. I do believe that Jamshedpur FC are playing a 4-2-4 rather than a 4-4-2, which is a more attacking lineup, but of course can leave you a little exposed. And this is where Saranch is so deadly. Well saved there by Schmeichel. Yeah, I think Arvind's got away with one over there. And you could say one apiece in terms of gilt-edge chances. Going for that ball down the line finally works out for him. Mbappe versus Hernandez, the two French boys, and it is Hernandez who comes out on top, and Saranch can build again.
Yeah, as you said, that 4-2-4 for Jamshedpur, I think maybe that's what prompted the pause from Saranch, trying to keep up more pressure, knowing he can't just give space in the midfield to try and set up those four attackers, and it's worked brilliantly for him so far. We're not seeing as much of a siege from Jamshedpur as we saw before. And
Yeah,
Saranch,
there you go.
what?
Oh yes,
Wow.
that is an incredible strike, and even Arvind just sort of smiling to himself, and being like, you know what, That's such a low percentage shot, but the way that Saransh has managed to just smash that into the corner, he worked the space for it. He created the space as the audience goes completely crazy. Just smashing that into the corner. Unfortunate that the keeper didn't manage to get his glove to it for Arvind, but yeah, now I think Saransh would have been expecting or hoping that he would be 1-0 up at this point, and Arvind though now needs to sort of get his head down. And I mean, he has got into very good positions, but the decision making just quite in the final third hasn't been there for him.
Exactly right. Just that spontaneous, instinctive decision making that he needs to do. Oh, again here, able to get the ball off the tackle, but I think a bit of button mashing perhaps, just going for the instant clear rather than trying to stabilize it, or perhaps just out of respect to Sharan's scared of losing the ball again.
Yeah, I think he was repeatedly trying to win the ball with a standing tackle, which unfortunately for him is also the input to clear the ball away. So it just happened a little too late for him. And now is Saransh going to go for the kill, because at 2-0 that would be a hugely uphill task. And again, using a few manual player locks, a few triggered runs of his own, and players in the box. He does have four players pretty much in there to pass to. Looks to go to Blanc over here. And now that's well, I was about to say that's where he's at his most dangerous, but handing the ball straight back to Jamshedpur. And I think Arvind now needs to get a bit of a move on. Maybe 1 minute of added time. Yeah, and this could be a huge opportunity. He's got three players in the box. Needs to pick the right one. Doesn't quite. Needed the cutback over there, and he'll be quite annoyed with himself. As we reach half time with a score 1-0 to Chennai FC. And yeah, Arvind, I think he right now he's got to be thinking, I need that one goal. I need to get one goal back, try to draw this game and take it to the co-op, because Saransh, when he gets in those one-on-one situations, just like he did over there, he's unplayable. I mean, you could put the best defenders in the world over there, but the way he just works that space and just knows how the mechanics of the game works, like he knows even from a particular angle, if he takes a shot with a particular player, if he gets the right amount of power on it, if he puts a time finish on it, he knows it's going to fly into that corner, and that's exactly what his experience really showing over there.
Yeah, absolutely right. That final third decision making so different between Sharansh and Arvind, where as you said with Sharansh, it's just so instinctive. He knows every nook and cranny of the game. Whereas with Arvind, it just feels like a little more telegraphed. Like even with that cutback, Sharansh giving him the space on the corner, knowing he's going to go for the cutback and just keeping the bodies in the box so they can easily intercept it. And that's where Arvind perhaps losing out, not even in the game, just in the mind games between him and Sharansh. But hold on, Arvind on the attack right now. No, going for the cutback? No.
No, not that. I think that's a smarter move over there, because the cutback was blocked. And we are going to see, I think, a few more innovative ways of nullifying that cutback, and then, of course, the attacking teams nullifying that particular strategy, because it has become a very recurring theme for players to just get down the byline and score that, just fire the ball in almost blindly and hope that it's going to stick with one of their players. And for now, and of course, I have mentioned this earlier. Let's just have a look at Saransh over here. He's building beautiful little ball roll. Again, taking his time to build. And he has a good 3 or 4 players to use over there. He could have gone for a back heel, didn't quite decide to do so. But I was saying, of course, that I have in fact played against Saransh on one of my streams, and obviously we brought him in as a gag to just see how many goals he could win by. And he's just so good, and particularly, and this is something that Fixus had mentioned as well on our previous cast, that he is really a second half player. He really starts to come into his own in the second half. And let's see now what Arvind can do. He's got a good position over here. Needs to stop second guessing himself. Just take the shot, take the shot, take the shot. There you go. Gets the opportunity, gets the corner. I think delayed that a little bit too much. Had a slightly better angle if he had shot it earlier, and gives the ball away from the corner. Oh, lucky to get it back. And now again, yes, take the shot. Brilliantly worked there. That's a beautiful little shot fake scoop turn by Arvind Mas, and I think completely deserved over there. Saransh shaking his head. Not happy about that. Just have a look at that. Little scoop turn. Bang. Low finish. It's the L1 R1 finish into the corner. One of the most reliable ways to finish in this particular edition of FIFA. And yeah, 1-1 again. All to play for. And Guest commentator's curse strikes again. Just as I say, Saransh most effective in the second half. The FIFA gods are conspiring to prove me wrong.
Absolutely. I mean, I have to give props to Arvind though. I mean, yes, it was Pele, no doubt, but that scoop was just, it was like a chef's kiss. It was just perfect in the moment, and I really like it because that's what he's been lacking in throughout this game. That just random moment of just making that decision. I'm going to go for this. He's not had and able to get the goal back now, but Sharanj, he's surely going to be feeling vengeful, looking to get it back, but a nice interception for Arvind puts him back on the counter.
Yeah, and I mean, he has got. Saraj has been in this position before in this tournament. He has been tied at 1-1, and he's managed to sort of claw it back in that second half and get the win. Usually, his games have been very close, and this is good from Arvind. I think he's trying to put Saranj under a bit of pressure, trying to make Saranj make a decision, right? Just constantly moving his players around, constantly using his left stick to keep twisting and turning and try to get Saranj to commit to one way so that the other direction opens up for him. And yeah, this is very good from Arvind. I wouldn't be surprised, and well, I am surprised that there's not a chance that's come out from that. And now Saranj needs to maybe start looking at slightly different avenues of approach. Maybe he wants to go a little bit more direct because Arvind seems to have his defense quite sorted in the sense that his players are always where they need to be. He's managing to read what Saranj is doing, and what he needs to avoid is one-on-ones against Saranj, because when Saranj is isolated against a defender and it's just that one player to beat, as he gives the ball straight to Pele, gets a bit lucky over there. But Saranj, when he isolates you, it's so hard to defend against him, and that's really what Arvind needs to try to avoid.
Yeah, and you can see Arvind doing exactly opposite of that, continuously keeping multi-man, at least on those high-skill players that he knows Saranj can make a huge impact, like Mbappe, Ronaldo.
And he does have the run opening up on the left. If he goes for it, he does. He's got Cruyff in. Will he go for the cross or a cutback? Nope. Deciding, well, I think the momentum's a bit lost over here now. Again, I think trying to take the bit of the safer option. Maybe he doesn't want to get hit on the counter attack. He wants to make sure that, oh well, he could be hit on the counter attack over here. But you can see Arvind wanting to make sure that he is in complete control of his attack. He doesn't want to. He wants his shape to be set defensively even when he's attacking, because he doesn't want to be overexposed and face a situation where he's got Saranj isolated against his defender, and that should be a corner, I believe. Yes, pause cued. And it does look like Saranj is playing a 4-2-4 as well. So yeah, interesting tactical battle. I'm not sure whether Saranj started as a 4-4-2 and then sort of decided to mirror the tactics that Arvind Mas was using. But let's see what he's doing. I would love it if we could actually see what these guys work on and what the subtle changes are that they make in these little tactical breaks. Unfortunately, we can't, because the footage is also available to the other players in the room, so that would be unfair, an slightly unfair advantage. And let's see if Arvind will go short or decide to go. Yeah, he does go short. And trying to a different angle for the cross over there. He's got Mbappe now. Will he go for a cross? Nope. Trying to go for a bridge nutmeg over there. Not quite. Very few players are going to have the gall to try and nutmeg Saranj in this game. And yeah, let's see. He's got Pele in. Now he's isolated him. Oh, that shot. And wow, okay. Van der Sar deciding that he's suddenly a kindergarten keeper over there. And it was just the most weakly hit shot. I mean, I don't think it was weakly hit. I think one of two things: either it took a deflection or he went for a time finished and got it completely wrong. And now this is where Saranj can be deadly, but well defended. And we've reached sort of 86, 87 minutes already. And Arvind now surely is going to try to keep that possession for himself. Saranj still pressing high, and again Arvind is, you can see him complaining, saying in FIFA 21 this ball would go. why no go now? What is this? What is life?
I do notice that Saranj has brought on Cruyff for Blanc, and he's got him on the right wing. So Mbappe in a much more central role, like you said, maybe trying to be much more direct with his attack, especially with the time running out. But he cannot find a hole. Arvind just too damn disciplined.
Yeah, and well, let's see how it works. He has found that opportunity. Arvind now just wants to get that ball and
Oh!
clear it away, but it's the chance
Oh my
and
god!
it's saved
Oh!
and it's off the
What?
post. That's incredible, and somehow Arvind
Oh!
survives. That was absolute mayhem. Saranj building it up. He knew that that was the play to make it count. My apologies if I have crackled any eardrums with
Same.
that screaming, because that was not once but twice just so close, and Arvind hanging on and getting that draw, and now it is all to play for in the co-op game.
I mean, the save itself from Schmeichel kind of gotten used to these amazing saves over the past week, but the post on the second try, that got me, man. That, I have to say, that got me. Wow.
Yeah, that was just insane. And yet another 1-all draw in this particular match. It is Saranj versus Arvind, and I think that's a huge result for Arvind as well.
Yep.
He would have gone into this game as the underdog for sure. And Saranj, as I said, has been relying on those last-minute clutch plays to steal the points away. Almost worked out for him, denied by first the giant palms of Peter Schmeichel, and then the giant iron frame of that goalpost.
Oh my god. That post has been the mortal enemy of several players. We saw it yesterday also, like certain players just destined to hit the post, even though we think it's going in. And you could see Ansharansh's face, the smile too. Knew that, like internally, I'm sure he knew that there was no way the game was supposed to go in his house. But as you said, like he always does, almost managed to steal it away, and he knew that. Just so damn cheeky.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, he got a bit. I mean, obviously, he played that move, that last move, to absolute perfection. Just worked that opportunity. It fell to him. He did the exact right thing both the times. He got the timed finish, bang on, and in such a tight area with such a small time window, to get that green marker around your player icon in such small time. The reflexes and the ability you need to be able to pull that off is incredible. And I mean, he will feel a little hard done by to not have won that, but I think Arvind probably deserved to get something out of that game.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, it sets us up perfectly 1-1 in both the individual games. This is what I wanted. And now going into the co op, we get a perfectly tied up affair. But looking at the highlights once again, you see that post being the enemy.
Yeah, and I think that was Arvind for which, and that was, I mean, as clear a foul as you'll ever see in your life. And yeah, I think Arvind must have felt a little hard done in that situation. And this was lovely from Saranch as well. Well saved again. And I believe this is the goal that we're about to see. I think it, yeah, look at that the feet,
Yeah.
the close control from Saranch, and then just launching that shot. I think Arvind in that moment was very happy to be like, okay, you want to take a left foot shot from there when you're facing away from the goal? Sure, be my guest. And this over, the pass into Pele, little scoop turn, and a beautiful rocket of a finish, the L1R1 finish into the bottom corner. And yeah, just towards the end, there were chances for him. That one didn't particularly work out. You saw the keeper over there get all wrong, and this was just absolute carnage at the end. You see now it was De Jong passing to Ronaldo, well saved by the feet. And you know, I get the feeling that the keeper has actually tipped that onto the post. I think there wasn't that shot was going in, and the keeper just somehow managed to get a hand to it.
Yeah, I mean, they better treat Schmeichel well today later on in the Jamshedpur FC camp right there, because if that is true, it's not just one or two. Throughout the game, Schmeichel coming up with some clutch saves, but to be honest, on both ends. So just Schmeichel just being that absolute killer of a card in this process. But I have to say now, going into the 2v2, given how similar both of these games have been, in fact, the exact same scoreline as well, like, surely do you think at least Jamshedpur FC will be a little more motivated to try and do something new, maybe? Because for Chennai, even if they get a draw, it's not that bad. They still maintain that top spot.
Yeah, and I mean, I think they have been pushed all the way in the past as well, Chennai and FC, and I think pretty much just about surviving and getting a goal in the last minute as well in their last matchup, or I think sorry, it was their first game. So they're very good. They're very sorted in co-op. I think there's a clear dynamic over there that Saransh completely takes the lead in terms of what they're going to do tactically. And we know, obviously, in both teams, I think the players are very evenly matched. They're very similar skill levels, and they also play in quite similar ways, so that the chemistry between the two players is a lot easier to cultivate when you approach the game and look at the game the same way. I think still a few laughs and chuckles happening over there about that frantic last minute that we saw between Arvind and Saransh. And yeah, now knuckles cracking, and it's time to get going for game 3, which is going to be the decider of this match.
Yeah, the co-op game now trying to give us a winner for this right here, but it's been both of the teams, all 4 of the players, very, very well matched. So whichever way this goes, I think it will be a deserving end to this like banger of a series. Right? It's exactly what we expected coming into this, right? Azim, 2 top quality clubs giving us top quality football.
Yeah, I mean, probably the fairest result overall for this would be if the co-op also goes to a draw, and maybe we get to see a few more goals. Maybe it's like a 4-all draw. So that's entertainment for everyone and the best result for the neutral observer. And also just to end that perfect streak for Chennai and FC, so that everybody else can also catch up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Chennai and FC is not just Jamshedpur, as you said, who's got their eye on them. Even for FC Goa, I'm sure they've got their eyes peeled, because for FC Goa, both of these teams are very relevant teams in their leaderboard battle. Jamshedpur right on their necks, breathing down their necks, whereas for Chennai right tied with them next to next. So if Chennai even if not lose, even if they draw this for FC Goa, that's a big result, because they then try to take the lead for themselves. And we'll have to see which player really comes out swinging, because I think both Naveen and Arvind looked like they were looking really strong in those first halves, but then it felt like the other way around, where Akash and Saransh took over in those second halves. So now it's 2v2. I wonder if both halves will be balanced.
Yeah. Let's see what these guys can do. I think it's going to be pretty much a similar formation. We do see that even in the co-op games, Saransh prefers to have Blanc in midfield, and it is of course the standard back 4. I think we'll be seeing both teams playing again the same 4-2-4 or 4-2-2, depending on how 4-4-2, depending on how they want to set up offensively. And Chennai and FC at the beginning, keeping the ball nicely. I think getting just a feel for it. You pass to me, I'll pass back to you. Okay, controller's working well. Okay, chalo, now let's attack. I think it's one of those. And yeah, this is going to be so cagey. You know what? This game has 1-all written just all over it.
Yeah, that's definitely what we're expecting. But we'll have to see if one of the teams can pull off that moment of sheer brilliance. We saw quite a few of those yesterday, but today, like, considering the players are much more matched, we're not even getting those opportunities. But right now, Jamshedpur trying to create one of their own, but as we expect from them, much more slower, and the interceptions.
Yeah, I think went for the wrong pass over there. If he looked slightly higher up, he had a player in a better position. And now, speaking of better positions, there we go. It is Pele. Nothing off the crossbar, nothing off the post this time. And it is the goal for Chennai and FC. They take the lead. But we've seen that happen. It's been a recurring theme so far. Chennai and FC taking the lead, and Jamshedpur fighting back over there. Nothing that Schmeichel could do. I think he needed another set of arms below his current set of arms to be able to save that. And yeah, that has been the theme of early goals or relatively early goals, first half goals coming in for Chennai and FC, and then Jamshedpur sort of clawing their way back into the contest.
Oh, but another misplaced pass gets Mbappe in a really good spot, but they're just going to slow it down for a second, try to get their midfield involved and switch the field of play. Now onto the left-hand side, Pele on the wing, not likely going to go for the cutback. Like, as we've noticed with these players, they are looking to take a lot more time. Could have gone for the shot there, though.
Yeah, almost working out there for them. And yeah, now let's see how they approach the co-op. Are they going to try to go for quick counters? Are they going to try to play the way they do in their regular 1v1 games of just slow build-up, keep possession? And does look like they're favoring the latter. And now this is where the coordination really matters. Once you get into that final third, is your teammate going to be in the right place? Has he made the right run? Oh, that's a nice backheel pass. Just about manages to keep that in, no harm done, and they will continue to build again. Just looking at how they're defending that. Oh, he's waltzed his way
Wow.
through, and somehow ball the bounce favoring Ronaldo over there, and Jamshedpur FC right back in it. This is the quickest they've managed to nullify this thing. Got a little fortunate over
Yeah.
there with the nutmeg and the player Marquinhos falling over or losing balance while trying to make the tackle. But all is fair in love and FIFA, and it is now 1-1. And yeah, looks like we could be in for a high-scoring game based on how this game has started.
Yeah, it was like Marquinhos' partner got nutmegged, but it was Marquinhos who reacted like he got nutmegged,
Yeah.
just randomly falling over. But hey, like you mentioned earlier too, we've seen this before. The lead taken by Chennai, but Jamshedpur clawing it right back quite earlier though, so maybe we do get that 4-4 high goal scoring affair that we wanted.
Yeah, let's see how this goes because both teams looking pretty potent on attack, or conversely, you could say not as organized on defense, whichever way you look at it. And yeah, now Saranj just like switching that ball around. They just want to retain, recycle possession. We've usually seen in games when Saraj has taken the lead, he's decided to try to take the sting out of it by just passing the ball around, moving it across the field. We didn't see much of that today, and that's well done. He actually gets two midfielders out in one go, but not able to capitalize, and a little bit of a slight bit of a dodgy moment over there, but I think he'll be fine.
I mean, definitely had our hearts in our mouths for a second, but these players definitely keeping their composure and maintaining their cool. Right now, Jamshedpur on the attack though, trying to get their midfield much more involved. There's a lot of space here in the midfield, but you can see from Chennai the approach that Sharan's adopted later into his game is how they're looking to defend, much more aggressive on the press, much more aggressive on trying to look for the interceptions.
Yeah, and they are. I mean, it's quite interesting to see. We saw the Bengaluru FC boys very in sync with the way they were pressing the ball, like just literally moving together in packs yesterday. Like the two of them barely separated by 1 or 2 meters each time they were pressing, and that seemed to work quite well for them. Over here, the press slightly different as almost managed to feed that in. Maybe needed a little bit of a dink or a lofted pass over there to find his teammate. And yeah, it's just very cagey because there's so much at stake now. Earlier, in the first two games, it was like, okay, there's still a game after this. We can still try to experiment. We can still afford to take a few chances. But now, just everything on the line over here, and we are going to see these two teams being a little cautious when it comes to their final third play.
Oh no.
And yeah, now that's given away. Now Jamshedpur need to try to go for the kill if they want to capitalize on that. Seeing now Pele over there, I do believe the right cursor is for Arvind, just managing to keep it in play. And yeah, again, that's nothing past really. You can see that it's very clearly blocked off, but still going for it anyway.
Yeah.
Just hoping that root bullet would magically evaporate, but not quite. And now Chennai FC again trying to build. It's been super cagey since those first two goals went in. We were expecting there to be like mayhem and chaos to follow that, but the game has settled into a similar rhythm to the first two games that we've seen, where both teams being fairly organized, keeping the ball well, but also being a little overcautious when they reach that final third.
Yeah, just a little bit of hesitation. Well, we'll see. I mean, it has to be no holds barred in this second half because, as you said, there is nothing left after this game, at least in this particular matchup, where they have to go everything right here to try and get the win for themselves. And I think we are expecting that from Chennai once again. Strong starts have been their strong suit, but the consistency which the Jamshedpur boys have brought today has been absolutely formidable.
Yeah, and they're playing like real contenders. Of course, we're talking about a team who's sitting pretty at the top of the league, having
Yeah.
steamrollered the most of the opposition that they've played. I think they just had one really close encounter. And Jamshedpur FC, they'll be looking to make that 9 points out of a possible 12. And I mean, let's see what they can do. Got a little bit of a risky pass to start, and I think Chennai and FC now wanting to go a little attacking. You can see that they have taken off Blanc from midfield and brought in Zidane, so they do want maybe a little bit more passing range, a few better through passes available. And we also see for Jamshedpur FC, I do believe we saw Ginola being brought on, possibly in place of Eusebio.
Yeah.
And now, again, trying to force that pass through a gap that just wasn't there. And now on the counter attack, it's going to be interesting. And yeah, that's what I was hoping to see. Like, for once, not pausing to rebuild the play, going for the finish shot into the corner. That is incredible. That is absurd. And
you
just-
can see from the reaction, it is Saraj, I think, because his teammate was just shocked. He was like, bro, what did you just do? What? Oh my god, what a finesse. That reminds
That's
me
a
of actual
beauty.
Ronaldo.
Yeah, that's just a beauty. Just again, and it's very important in this game to, like, when you want the shot to work out well. If you do the shot just after doing a small skill move, it tends to be a little bit more accurate, a little bit more powerful. And you saw that there with that little ball roll to create the opening, and just banging it into the top corner. And I do believe, I think that was Sarancha. That was absolutely phenomenal.
We saw it once in his individual game, but yet it still surprises me when he's able to pull off these insane moves. But right now, Jamshedpur trying to get one of their own on. Unfortunately, were really compact in the defense for Chennai. They get it intercepted, they get the ball back, and now the name of the game is just going to be to keep that ball, just get Jamshedpur as frustrated as possible.
Yeah, and I think that's what's. He's given the ball straight away. That's a bit. Yeah, that was a bit surprising. And he has the opportunity. Didn't see the pass that he could make to Gullit over there. It reaches him eventually. And now for Jamshedpur, it's. I mean, I think they'll still remain patient, and it opens up well for Ronaldo, and saved by a flying fingertips of Edwin van der Sar over there. I think he had time to take that ball a little further to just increase the percentage of that shot. But Jamshedpur now coming all guns blazing. They have to. I mean, this is it. This is the last game to decide what happens in this match. And here, let's see what they do in the box. Oh, that's poor. He's given that away. He'll be very, very annoyed with himself. And just clotheslining Pele out of the way and winning the ball back. So not too much harm done, but you can't afford mistakes like that over there. I think Arvind laughing a little bit. I think he's maybe finding something off with his controls, or just annoyed with himself. Maybe a change being made. Let's see a few nods of agreement between the two Jamshedpur FC players, and maybe a few conservative changes also being made at the other end by Chennai and FC. They might be thinking, okay, you know what? Let's add another. Let's try to pack the midfield. Let's try to get our fatigued players out and get more energy, more defensive, more powerful players in there. So let's see what the changes are. We see Ginola on for Mbappe. That's interesting for Chennai and FC. Again, I think wanting to get a player who gives them a higher percentage while shooting. And that's well worked. Surely he has to score. It is in. That's beautifully done. And it just does not go away. The substitute Ginola gets the goal for Jamshedpur FC.
Oh,
and
wow.
suddenly a pause queued by both players. So that's going to be interesting.
All of the players perhaps going for that, but 2-2, and the pace definitely picking up the tempo of the matchup. Really, really close right now, and you can't tell which way it's going, but Chennai trying to create an opportunity. Does not work out, and now Jamshedpur on the counter.
Yeah, it could work out for them if he finds that right through ball. That's a great through ball. And now, will he go for the cross? He should have gone for the cross, I think. No, but that's worked out well enough. And it's Gullit in the box. He has to take the shot. Just doesn't quite work out for them over there. Little indecisive is a question of, kya karu? What do I do? What do I do? And now he's got Pele in behind. Will the defender make the recovery? He gets the keeper out. Is he going to go for a chip over here? He does go for the chip. It's well blocked. And this is, it's all happening over here. This game is really, really kicked off because both teams now desperate to try and get that winner.
Trying to get something ready, but Jamshedpur just slowing it down. They have a pause queued up. Still, the play hasn't ended from that time, and both of the teams just corner to corner going at each other's necks, refusing to give up any room. But unfortunately, the ball straight into Zidane's hands, and now Chennai on the counter. They're sure to be much more direct than Jamshedpur have been. They're not going to give them time to get back.
Yeah, well, I mean, they do decide to slow it down a little bit because they were fairly compact. And let's see if Saranj still has any tricks left up his sleeve.
Oh!
Oh, that's a brilliant ball, almost working out. And I think again that's Saransh who's sort of orchestrating the play over there. He's got great vision. I mean, there is of course the one aspect of the FIFA aspect of it, of knowing the mechanics of the game very well. But I think also Saransh also understands the game of football very well and sees those patterns of play. Again, we see Eusebio now on the ball. Will he go for another finesse shot? Not quite. That's a little backheel pass wide now to Ginola. And yeah, as we reach now the final 10 minutes, is Saransh going to, is Chennai NFC now going to just do keep ball for a few minutes and make sure they get that chance, or are they going to go for the kill? That's well won. And now Jamshedpur have the initiative. So yeah, it does look like they want to keep that ball. But if an opportunity were to rear its head, I think they will absolutely go for the kill. That's well worked. He got past his man. And he's got Pele on the ball. He's got Gullit on the ball, and just doesn't work out. You can see him desperately trying to get a shot away, but unfortunately the player did not have control of the ball. And now, surely I think Chennai NFC will slow this down and try to make sure they have the final play.
The pass still not come through. The players are just going to have to end the match with what they have. They're not going to be able to make the changes because now Ginola on the wing. I think Saransh trying to fool his opposition, trying to make some space, but it's not going to happen. As you said, just controlling the ball for the final attack, but Gullit with a bad touch.
Yeah, and it is now 2v3 at the back. If he can get that ball through, not quite a little, bit of a desperate lunge over there. And yeah, this is last chance saloon now for Jamshedpur. I wonder if they're going to be happy to take the draw. Because, they're happy with the draw. They're happy to take the point. Yeah, you can see with amongst the two of them, they're like, you know what, we're playing the best team so far in the league. And we're happy to take that point. We're happy to ruin their perfect record for now. And not quite 4-all, but 2-2. And a very, very frantic end to that game, with finally Jamshedpur FC deciding to just take the sting out of it and settle for a point. And very, very hard earned and probably the fairest result overall.
Yeah, absolutely. I think especially because of the fact that you could see in the reactions how much it meant to the players itself. That yes, of course, not the ideal ending, but definitely a good ending for Jamshedpur FC because they've got a difficult fixture out of the way and they have taken points off the people they are chasing themselves. So very well done on their part. And you could see that teensy bit of disappointment on the faces of Chennai, and they're not used to this kind of result.
Yeah, and I mean, I can tell you who's going to be very, very happy about this result. It's the boys of FC Goa who are sitting in their hotels and watching this right now, because they know now that win in their next game and that makes them outright leaders, and even a draw still keeps them tied for the lead. So they'll be very, very pleased with that. And yes, I think Chennai and FC will feel a little disappointed because coming into this game in the form that they were in, they would have thought that they would have been in that mood of, you know what, we can steamroll anyone. And let's take a quick look at the scorecard just to summarize everything that we've seen eventually. 3 draws have been played out in this game. And we'll just have the scorecard up soon to take you through that.
Yeah, I believe 1-1 across both of the individual games, and then of course just adding up, I guess, when the players added up themselves for the co-op.
Yeah, I think you're just allowed one goal per player is what the rule was established before this game. So very, very hard fought draw for both teams. I believe this is the first overall draw that we've seen in the tournament so far. I could be wrong, but I think it is the first overall draw, and that shows you just how closely matched these two teams are. And I mean, you can see the disappointment on the faces of Saransh particularly now, but I think overall inside he will be like, you know what, we dodged a bit of a bullet here. We'll be happy to take a draw.
Yeah, definitely. I think especially given how close all 3 of the games were, yes, Chennai will be disappointed that they can't continue their win streak, I guess. But with respect to this particular match, I think they will definitely give credit to Jamshedpur because it was a very close game. And now the matter does become like we've seen a lot of teams on a lower end of the side on a loose streak, and we've been talking about how they can push back. But for a team like Chennai, who've been on the front from the start, these tiny stumbles and how you react to them shows a lot about you as a team.
Yeah, and of course for them, it's still an undefeated run for them. They've still not been beaten. And but yeah, of course, now it is time for us to find out who the hero of the match is. I do have a few theories as to who it could be, and let's see who it is. Drum roll, please. And it is Saransh. Yes, there you go. Saransh, of course, scoring 3 goals. One, of course, in his own game, and 2 in the co-op game. We will reconfirm, hopefully, if we get to chat with him, whether it was him who scored that goal in the co-op. But for the benefit of the doubt, we're going to say that it is 3 goals scored by Saransh.
I
And
mean,
voice in my ear has told me it was Saransh.
yeah, right. So like only 2 goals in the co-op, and he did score just one. So that, I mean, at that level and the quality of the goal, I don't think. And of course, this is no shade being thrown towards his teammate. I don't think anyone. I mean, I don't think his teammate would be even taking that shot right there. I think that's a Sharan's speciality.
Oh yeah, 100%. But of course, you have to give his teammate the credit for the beautiful assist for the goal that Saransh put away in the co-op game. And the finesse shot into the top corner, that was just all him. That was phenomenal. I mean, the audacity, you see very few players, because it's such a low percentage shot. You see very few players actually trying to execute that in a game as competitive as this. Show when you're playing online in like divisions or foot champs or whatever, you can take those shots. But the power that he generated over there, as we just have a look at, I believe this was this was the ball played through, lovely little chip in behind the defense, and a good result, I would say, overall for both teams.
Yeah, beautiful 1-2 right there in that goal too, showing that synergy, as you said, between Naveen and Sharansh. And yeah, rightfully so. Even though the hero is Sharansh, sure, we have to give props to Naveen because he stepped up definitely beyond expectations, like almost up to the level of the senior player in the squad itself. So huge props to him.
Yeah, I mean, if Saransh is Batman, he definitely has a great Robin in Naveen next to him. Although, Naveen, I think we once messed up by saying that he lost his first game, and he corrected us very quickly on social media. And we, of course, did speak to him. And I think we do have Saransh with us now. Let's see if we can go over to him. And I think we have him now. Saransh, I don't know whether to say congratulations or hard luck for you, but based on your reaction, I'm going to say hard luck, particularly with that those last 2 at the end. How are you feeling?
I mean, like, honestly, I'm very disappointed. I wasn't happy with the way I played in my 1v1 game, and 2v2 we were pretty good, but I mean, it was an even game. Could have gone either way towards the end. So, GG's to Jamshedpur as well. Very, very strong team and great game.
Yeah, I mean, individually for you, there were 2 phenomenal goals that particularly caught my eye. The Eusebio left footer in your individual game and the Ronaldo finesse. And I just have to ask, like, as a player in that moment, like those kind of shots, is that something you just feel like it and you take it, or is that something you perhaps plan a second or 2 before?
I mean, it's basically instinct, but I mean, there's a percentage of chance that it's going in if it's green timed, right? And luckily I got the timing in and somehow it went in.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of your 1v1 game, can you believe that both of those shots right at the end didn't go in? And also, I mean, it wasn't entirely clear to us while watching, but was the second shot saved or did it just go onto the post directly?
No, it got saved and then it hit the post. So, I mean, it's like a game of margins, right? FIFA has always been a game of margins, a few steps here and there, and it could have gone in and we could have gotten the 3 points. But it is what it is. Like, we've got things to learn from this, and hopefully we can come back stronger.
Yeah, absolutely. I think still unbeaten, so that will be a thing you'll be looking to maintain in the future matches. But congratulations itself for the hero of the match, and we'll be looking to seeing you in future matches.
Thank you so much, guys.
Well, you heard it right. Like, just the idea of the ability of that player to instinctively feel like it's what we theorize as well. It's just Saransh thing. He just knows, as you mentioned, the intricacies of the game so well.
Yeah, and it's just one of those situations where it's just opened up for you. You've done that ball roll, the defender's gone the other way, and you're like, okay, you know what, this is opened up, and it's working out quite well for me.
Yeah, but a big thank you for this platform itself to eISL, powered by Coca-Cola, with Hero as our associate sponsor, Nordwind Gaming as our esports partner, and PlayStation as our platform partner. And of course, as we were talking about earlier, to this kind of platform is the key reason for which we get to see these level of insane plays from these absolutely amazing professional players. But with that, that was the end of the first set, the first match between Chennai FC and Jamshedpur. We have one more for you, so don't you go anywhere. Maybe grab some snacks and we'll be back with you in a jiffy.